Hi, my name is Kurt Lammy. I am the pastor at St Paul Lutheran Church on Dogleg Road in Dayton, Ohio. And I'd like to take a moment today to think with you about the question, why do we give things up during Lent? This is something that many people know about Lent. Even if they're not actively involved in the life of the church, they know that Lent means you give things up. Maybe it's meat or chocolate or whatever. It seems like chocolate is the go-to one for people. Are people really that into chocolate? This whole idea of giving things up connects to the idea of fasting. Well, for many of us, that just sounds stupid, right? We don't want to go without food. Well, fasting means going without something to remember that God provides for you. Sometimes when we eat, we just take advantage of the fact that we have food to eat. When we fast, when we purposefully give up food or whatever it is, we're remembering that God provides for us. Now that might sound a bit ironic, we're giving up something that God provides to us. But it's a call to us to remember that God takes care of us, rather than to take advantage of what God gives to us. It's also a reminder to put away those things that get in the way of our relationship with God. And this is really what it's more about. It's not really about food. Whatever the thing is that you're thinking about giving up, let it be something that's standing in the way of your relationship with God. Chocolate. Does chocolate really stand in the way of your relationship with God? If it does, then get rid of it, okay? But I think for most people, it doesn't. I think when most people think about this giving up something for Lent idea, they see it as just this, obligation or something religious that they're supposed to do during this season of the church year. But then come Easter, then they can bring it back and have it again. Well, if you think giving up for Lent means giving up for the duration of Lent, then you kind of miss the point. Let's say that you are giving up chocolate or coffee or whatever. If you give it up just for the duration of Lent and then pick it back up when Lent is done, then you still have that thing that's in the way of your relationship with God. So then what was the point? Rather than thinking of giving up something for the duration of Lent, I'd like for us to think of giving up something for the sake of Lent. This time of Lent is a time when we focus on our spiritual lives in a way that we probably should do the rest of the year, but we pay a special attention to it during Lent. And by giving something up, you're saying, okay, God, this thing, whatever it is, has gotten in the way of my relationship with you. So I'm going to intentionally put that aside so that I can focus on you. This season of Lent allows me the time to be able to concentrate on getting rid of that and to instead focus on you. Then, when Lent is over, when we enter the season of Easter, that thing is still put away. Now, sometimes people end up giving up the same thing for Lent year after year after year. Maybe it's chocolate every year, or coffee every year, or whatever. Something that honestly doesn't really get in the way of their relationship with God, but it's just their go-to thing for Lent. If we think of giving up something for the sake of Lent, in order to strengthen our relationship with God, then the only time that that thing would be the same year after year is if you ended up going back to that thing. If you ended up picking it up again, which, let's be honest, we do. We end up putting so many things in the way of God that sometimes we have to repeatedly put them aside. But hopefully, this practice of putting something away, of fasting, of giving up something for the sake of Lent will help us in our relationship with God, because it's getting rid of the spiritual clutter in our lives and helping us focus on God. Please leave a comment and let me know what you think of this distinction between giving up something for the duration of Lent versus giving up something for the sake of Lent. Thanks for watching.